Alright, let's talk about the big question. The question that's been on the minds of space enthusiasts and casual observers alike: why haven't we gone back to the moon? It's been decades since we last set foot on its dusty surface. I mean, we landed there in 1969, a monumental achievement etched in history. So, what's the holdup? Why haven't we seen a resurgence of lunar missions in the years that followed? What are the factors preventing us from returning? The truth isn't as simple as we just stopped caring or that we lost interest in the cosmos. It's a complex web of interconnected reasons that have kept us grounded. First off, and perhaps most significantly, money. The Apollo program, while a triumph of human ingenuity and determination, was insanely expensive. It was a massive undertaking that required a significant portion of the national budget. Adjusted for today's economic standards, it cost over $150 billion. That's a staggering sum, a financial commitment that's hard to justify without a clear and compelling return on investment. And after the initial burst of excitement surrounding the first few landings, public excitement faded fast. The novelty wore off, and the constant stream of lunar missions began to lose their appeal. People started asking, why spend all this cash on the moon, on what seemed like a distant and abstract goal, when there were pressing problems right here on Earth demanding attention and resources? Then, there's the ever-present influence of politics. The Apollo missions were, in many ways, fueled by the intense space race with the Soviet Union. It was a competition for technological supremacy and ideological dominance. Once America decisively won that race by being the first to put a man on the moon, the immediate pressure was off. The urgency that had driven the Apollo program dissipated. Consequently, NASA's budget got slashed significantly, and priorities shifted to projects like the Space Shuttle, which promised more frequent and reusable access to space, and the ambitious undertaking of building the International Space Station, a collaborative effort to establish a permanent research outpost in low Earth orbit. And let's not forget about the inherent risk involved in space travel. Space is an incredibly hostile environment, like really profoundly dangerous. The vacuum, radiation, and micrometeoroids pose constant threats. Every single moon mission put the lives of highly trained astronauts on the line, pushing the boundaries of human endurance and technological capability. After the near disaster of Apollo 13, which barely made it back to Earth after a critical malfunction, public and political safety concerns grew exponentially. Technology also plays a role in this equation, but perhaps not in the way you might initially assume. The technology that took us to the moon was undeniably cutting edge for the 1960s. It represented the pinnacle of engineering at the time. But the harsh reality is that we literally scrapped, dismantled, or simply lost most of that original hardware and the associated expertise. Rebuilding that specialized know-how from scratch, rediscovering lost techniques and recreating obsolete components, that's not an easy task, and it's definitely not a cheap one. Here's the crucial thing to understand. Going back to the moon in the 21st century isn't just about planting another flag and collecting a few more rocks. It's about establishing a sustained presence, about long-term scientific exploration, about building permanent lunar bases, creating habitats that can support human life for extended periods, and ultimately, about using the moon as a crucial stepping stone for even more ambitious endeavors like sending humans to Mars. All of that takes a significant amount of time, requiring years of planning, development, and testing, a substantial amount of money, requiring consistent and reliable funding streams, and yep, you guessed it, the unwavering political will to see these long-term projects through to completion. But here's the good news. Countries around the world, along with a growing number of innovative private companies, are finally getting serious about lunar exploration once again. Maybe, just maybe, this time around we'll not only return to the moon, but we'll actually stick around and build a lasting presence. The next giant leap for mankind, a return to the moon and beyond, might be closer than you think. The future of space exploration is looking brighter than ever.